Hello guys, my name is Zach and today we're doing a Blackwing deck profile. I'm really excited to show this guys because I finally got all the stuff to this deck profile and I'm so excited to show you. So, without further ado, let's begin. So to start up, I'm using 3 copies of Blackwing Simoon the Poison Wind. I will say, some people get confused with this card and it's total understandable because here's the fact that you can bench one other Blackwing monster and then place Blackwing. What's it called? Black Whirlwind. I was about to say Blackwinged Whirlwind. I don't know, guys. I'm stupid, okay? And then you can either summon this monster or send him to the graveyard. A lot of people do summon him because of the Black Whirlwind search. And also, the Black Whirlwind has to go to the graveyard in the end phase, and then you will take 1,000 life points damage. However, a lot of people get confused with the summon effect because they think that you use your normal summon on this monster. You don't. You get an additional normal summon. Ask any judge if you play against a Blackwing player. Ask any judge because they know that it's an additional normal summon. Then I'm using 3 copies of Blackwing Sutri the Phantom Glimmer. Sutri is a great 3-up in this deck because he has the effect that you can search after any black or any card that mentions Black Winged Dragon. And he only gets this effect when he is normal summoned, not when he's special summoned. But he also has the effect that you can tribute one monster you control to special summon one Phantom Glimmer token with 700 attack and 700 defense. However, it is worth mentioning, you take 700 points of damage when you activate this effect. So yeah, that is just a little side note you have to think about. Then we are using 3 copies of Vada, the Emblem of Wandering. This monster is a great 3-up in this deck because he has the effect that when you control another Blackwing monster other than Vada, the Emblem of Wandering, you can special summon this monster. He also has the effect that you can send him from the field to the graveyard alongside with materials from your deck to special summon Blackwing Dragon. However, when you use this effect, you are locked into dark monsters, but we actually doesn't care about that effect because Blackwing is dark attribute, so it doesn't affect us that much, but it is still worth mentioning. Now we go into the last 2 new Blackwing cards that I think is absolutely phenomenal. And the one is Blackwing Shamal the Sandstorm. Shamal has the effect that you can send this monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to place your Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck. Also, when you synchro summon a dark synchro monster, I think it's Blackwing or Blackwing Drain, yeah, a special summon to the field, then you can banish this monster from your graveyard to add any of your Blackwings that you do have in your graveyard back to your hand. So that's a great effect, guys. A lot of people, I have been seeing people playing 3 of this, but I think that this is overrated. You don't need 3 because you only need to see it as much as you want. And I have actually discovered I am very good to just draw the card, so I don't actually need the effect. But yeah, some people play 3 and you can do what you want. I just think that this deck profile suits me best. Then we're using 1 copy of Chinook the Snow Blast. Chinook is a great effect. Sorry guys, I get distracted because it's raining right now and I'm sitting right next to a window. Chinook has the effect that you can send this card to the graveyard and then target 1 of your opponent's monsters on the field and then remove their effects and they lose 700 life points. Attack points. I can speak now. Great. The only cost is that you have to send a Blackwing monster to the graveyard as cost or Blackwing Dragon. But again, it's not the biggest cost, if you ask me. Next, I'm using 2 copies of Blackwing Border the Spear. Border is a great 2-up just my opinion, because you can special summon him when you control another Blackwing monster. Very simple. Then we're using 2 copies of Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. Gale is also a very good 2-up in this deck because he has the effect that, again, you can special summon him when you control another Blackwing monster. But you can also target one face-up monster your opponent controls and cut their attack points and defense points in half, which is a great effect. You can just remove 50% of the original attack strength from your opponent's monsters, which is a great effect, guys. Next, I'm using 1 copy of Blackwing, Chris the Crack of Dawn. Chris is a great 1-up because he has the effect to just special summon himself again if you control another Blackwing monster. A lot of them does have this effect. But also once per turn he is unaffected by spell effects, which is also a very great effect. Next, we're using 1 copy of Blackwing Orochi the Squall. Orochi is a great 1-up in this deck because he has the effect that you can special summon him if you control another Blackwing monster. Also, when this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can target one face-up monster on the field, or just target a monster on the field and change the battle position on that monster, which is a great effect in general. I don't use that effect so much because I don't see this card so much in my hand. It's only if I very just want a quick search after a tuner or a material for something. Fine, we go with Orochi. Then we're using 1 copy of Black Gust the Backblast. I was so close to mess up with the name. He has the effect that when we control no cards, we can special summon this guy. And also, if your opponent's monster attacks one of your Blackwings, that monster's attack points will lose 300 points, which is a great effect. You can cut down your opponent's attack strength. But again, it's not that worth it. It's not that good of an effect in general. It is a good effect though, but still, it doesn't work that much. Because today, 300 attack is nothing. Then we're using 1 Hamadan the Dust. Hamadan has the effect that you can special summon this monster when you control another Blackwing monster. Also, he can get extra levels when he is special summoned. You can target one other Blackwing monster you control. This monster gains that amount of levels that the target has to its own. What I use most is either level 4s or level 2s, so he can become level 4 or level 6 monsters, which is a great effect. Jesus, it's just raining very hard. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but I can hear it. For the last Blackwing monster, guys, we're using 1 Sephiroth the Elite. I will say this is actually one of the better cards in this deck. What I hate is when I get him in my starting hand or if I draw him, because he has the effect that you can target one card on your field, return it to your hand, and then special summon this monster from the graveyard. Then you are supposed to take 400 points, but if I control Blackwing Dragon, it doesn't matter. However, guys, it is worth mentioning, this is a once per duel effect, so you can only use this effect once. What I use it most to is to return the Black Whirlwind that Simoon places, which just is a great effect because then I will not lose the 1000 life points, which is a great effect, guys. Next, for the hand traps, we're using 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. I just had to use 3 Ash Blossoms because I'm using the spell card Crossout Detonator in this deck profile, and I will say I will rather be on the safe side and then just send an Ash Blossom to the graveyard, other than say, God damn it, I lost there. Because if an Ash Blossom messes up with my searches, that can go very bad. But again, I think that you all know what Ash Blossom does. A lot of people has been playing it. A lot of people actually don't play that monster that much anymore. But Whatever. Next, for the Bestials, we're using double Bestial Saranir. Then we're using double Bestial Magnamut. And last but not least, triple Bestial Jerusalem. I would say for the Bestials, they are actually pretty good because every Bestial has the effect that you can banish one light or dark monster, except for the very big one like the Bestial Rebellion and the Albalos Bestial, or what's it called? But Saranir, Magnamut, and Drusworm has the effect that you can banish one light or dark monster from either player's graveyard to special summon these monsters. Saranir has the effect when this guy is sent to the graveyard from the field, you can target one bestial monster or one branded spell and trap card. I guess. What's it? Yeah, branded. Spell and trap card from your deck and send to the graveyard. Magnamut has the effect that he can search after a dragon monster when this card is sent to the graveyard, which is a great effect, guys. You can search after your bestials, and in general, bestials is just used in every deck now because they are so good. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Drusworm because Drusworm is, my opinion, I love Drusworm more because he has the effect when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your opponent's special summon monsters and send that to the graveyard. That is a great effect, guys, because you also work around the when this card is destroyed effect. Because this card doesn't destroy, it just sends them to the graveyard. So when your opponent tries to, if you send this out and you target, let us say, a monster that uses its effect when it's destroyed by a card effect, then be quick to say to your opponent, you can't do that because this just sends it to the graveyard. Which is a great effect, guys, in general. But yeah, that was everything for the monsters. Let us move into spells. For the spell, guys, I am, of course, running triple copies of Black Whirlwind. This is one of the best searchers in this deck. Because this spell has the effect that you can, or when you normal summon a Blackwing monster, you can search after a Blackwing monster from your deck with lower attack points, which is just a great effect. Next, I'm using 2 copies of Black Feather Whirlwind. This is the card that Shamal can search after or place. It has the effect that when you special summon a Dark Synchro monster, you can target one Blackwing monster or Blackwing dragon in your graveyard or that's banished with lower attack points and special summon to your field. Also, this is a protector, so if one of your cards should be destroyed by opponent's card effects, you can remove one Black Feather counter from your side of the field to negate the destruction, which is a great effect, guys. Also, I will point out before we continue, a lot of people think that you can Ash Blossom Simoon's effect or Shamal's effect. You can't, because it's a place effect, not a search effect. Just to those people that think that they can Ash Blossom this. Next, I'm using 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. In this format currently, you need this card. I will just point out some decks. I haven't played a lot of against them actually, but I think T Elements. Then we definitely have Flooronderies, which is one of the most busted combo decks in the format currently. I really hope that they ban the barrier statue very soon. What do we have? What else? Maybe maybe the Dark World archetype with the newest support. Maybe Blue Eyes. I'm just coming with ideas what you can use this for. But you negate with this card, you can negate all the effects of all monsters your opponent controls. And also, your opponent will take no damage after this card's effect. So that's a great effect in general. For your opponent, that is. But again, it needed to be a little bit busted. Next, I'm using a card that a lot of people thinks that just should be in a binder. I'm using one copy of Super Polymerization, and if you couldn't see, it's a Starlight Rare. I pulled this to my local, and I'm very sad that I did not, what's it called, record it, because that would have been a great video. But yeah, Super Polymerization, discard one card to perform fusion summon by any monsters on the field. And this is a spell speed 4 card, so you cannot activate anything in response, which is just great. To negate the opponent's cards when I try to search, one Crossout Designator in form of Ash Blossom, and one Called by the Grave. That is just what I think fits the best. I don't know if I should take out something and put in another Crossout Designator. I might do that. And Called by the Grave banishes the target. So again, you can just banish Ash Blossom to negate the effects. I was actually thinking about running DD Crow, but then I realized, okay, if deactivate Ash Blossom, I can activate DD Crow, banish Ash Blossom, but it will not hit the effect, which is sad. But again, that would have been too busted. For the last spell cards, guys, I'm using one Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is just to, reborn your monsters, if you get me there. So that's everything for the spell, guys. Let us move into the traps. For the trap cards, I'm using 2 copies of Blackwing Twin Shadow. Twin Shadow is a great 2-up, for my opinion, in this deck, because it has the effect that you can perform a synchro summon by shuffling the materials back into the deck from your graveyard, field, I guess. No, only graveyard and or banished zone. And this will also count as a synchro summon. So that will also help out some of your combos. And next, I'm using triple infinite impermanence because you need to get something. You need a bunch of negates in this format currently. I have Dark Ruler no more and infinite impermanence and Ash Blossom, you can say that. And also push deals. So I will say this deck is very good for me. If you have other opinions, then build it your own. Again, guys, my deck profiles is just to guide people if you want to be guided. That is actually just everything I want to make sure that I guide you guys to make your own stuff. Don't be that guy that copy pastes every card. For the extra deck, we're using 2 copies of Blackwing Assault Dragon. This is actually a very good boss monster. I've been seeing people run free because they also run Pot of Prosperities. I don't have 3 copies because I'm not rich. So, sadly. But this monster has the effect that when every time your opponent has activated a monster effect after it resolves, put a count on this guy, and your opponent loses 700 life points. It also has the effect that you can banish 1 Blackwing Dragon plus a Synchro Tuna monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from the extra deck. And it also has a tribute effect. When you have 4 or more counters on this card, you can tribute this monster to destroy all cards on the field. So it also a board clear, which is a great effect in today's format. Next, I'm using 2 copies of Blackwing Dragon. A lot of people might only mean or might suggest that only one is optional. It is, I tried it, but I just want to be sure because if they banish my Blackwing Dragon from the field, then I cannot go into my second copy of Blackwing the Soul Dragon, which is bad because I really need that combo to work every time. For the Blackwings, we're using, of course, 1 Blackwing Borderstorm the Wicked Wind, which has the effect that you can send out when this card is special summoned a Blackwing monster to your graveyard, and then this monster copy pastes that level. The most times I use Blackwing Vather of Wandering, because then it's a level 2, then I can synchro them into Blackwing the Soul Drain. which is a great effect, guys. Next, we're using one Chidori, the Rain Sprinkler. Gain attack points, nothing bad there. Blackwing Full Armor Master to take control of your opponent's monsters. Northern Starlight to remove attack points and deal damage. Raikiri to destroy cards on the field. But yeah, guys, I would say Raikiri and all the other monsters is just perfect in this deck profile. Then Blackwing Armor Master, because I am a OG fan. This card actually doesn't do anything for this deck profile. I just love him. And he also is the target for Chinook most of the times. For the fusions and the Xyz monster, we're using one Stamina on Fusion Drain and one Wallow, founder of Drudge Drains. This card is actually very good. You can see for the light. This is one of the better cards currently, because you can take control of your opponent's monsters with this card, so that is just perfect. For the last cards, guys, we're using one Raid Raptor Vistrix, one IP Masquerina, and one Access Code Talker. I would say this Access deck fits this deck profile very well. If you guys have other opinions on it, please let me know down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video, because I actually enjoy playing Blackwings currently, because again, I am a fan of Blackwings. But yeah, guys, if you have any suggestions to the extra deck, the main deck, please comment it down below, because I am open for ideas to improve this deck. But without further ado, we will see each other next time. Of course, I mess up in the ending. Peace.